Genocide here with The Devil is in the Details, Part 4. Now in this video we're just going to go through examples of the picking drills and the progression of ideas. What you want to do is you don't want to skip any part of the sequences. These drills work in a particular way to develop like muscle memory, and you're learning how to use your fretting hand, each finger independently of the others, to strengthen them, and then at the end we're going to put them all together with some basic chromatics. Okay, now let's just jump right in. The first thing we're going to do is learn how to practice our tremolo picking. Once we get our tremolo picking down, we can then progress to speed picking. Okay? Now, we're going to be using alternate picking, and alternate picking is alternating between a down pick, up pick, down pick, up pick, or the reverse direction, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? Now, let's just start on the 5th fret, and we're going to take just our index finger. We're going to sound the 5th fret E string while lightly dampening the rest of the strings. We're then going to rest our other fingers on the lower 5 strings, slightly dampening them. We're going to get our proper grip and get our palm mute going on our picking hand. Okay? And you can hear the beat. Now I'm using a drum machine. Any metronome will work for you. Now I'm playing at 160 beats per minute. Now if that's too fast for you to even pick once per click, then slow the tempo down to whatever you're comfortable. If you have to start all of these exercises with 100 beats per minute and build up from there, then that's what you do, because only you know how it's feeling to your body. All right, so now we hear the beat and we pick once per beat, but each time we pick, we change the direction we're picking. All right? So that's. Now we move to the A string 5th fret. Now, because you're on the A string, to dampen the E string, you need the top part of your index finger to lightly touch the E string. That coupled with this muting. Okay? Because if you don't, both strings will ring out. And you only want the 5th fret ringing out. Now you go to the D string. G string time. All right, now once you're comfortable with that, you practice with your middle finger. Remember keeping your other fingers down. I know sometimes it's hard because it'll be your hand's reaction to pull away, but we keep it down. Onto the A string. Now you'll notice you'll be alternating between up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This way you can play with how you attack the pick with the beat. This is very important because once you speed pick at a certain speed, you'll be able to accent different beats with your picking. It's like a sub-accenting that's hidden within the pattern. It's very cool. Alright, then go through with your third finger. Alright, and then once you're comfortable, and this isn't something you're trying to race through, okay? You want to be comfortable using each finger on each string, because each string will feel different to your left hand, and you want to be comfortable picking on each string, because every string will feel completely different as you're picking it. You might be able to play really fast on the deep E, but when you play on the high E, you can't play at the same speed because you're not used to it. Okay, and then to finish off, we use the pinky. Alright, now once you're comfortable picking once per beat with your alternate picking, you're comfortable on all 5 or all 6 strings and using all 4 of your fingers, you then move to doubling up your picking. And you go back to the beginning of the exercise, starting with the index finger. And what I want you to do is start off picking with the beat. And then I want you to gradually get used to double picking it. And of course, you then move on to your middle finger, go through all strings, third finger all strings, fourth finger all strings, okay? Once you're comfortable with that, then 4 picks. So now what you're doing in the first example, you're picking once per beat, then we go back through, practice the drill picking twice per beat, which is almost like a fast strum, like used in thrash metal. And then we skip doing 3, that's for a later video, but we move right on to 4, which is quadruple picking, 4 picks per beat. Now I'm gonna do all 3 and I'm gonna build up, and when you practice, you should do this together. You should practice 1 pick, then for several strokes, then double up, then quadruple up, and get used to the feel and the sound of the different beat of your pick, okay? All right, here we go. And see that accent, I'm making sure with my 4 picks that my last pick in each measure will be a down pick. That is accenting that snare hit. Okay, so in black and death metal, we really coordinate what we're doing with the drums quite a bit, and we want our picking to be syncopated with the drums, right, and the snare. So see, like a strum. And then so that is what will develop your tremolo picking. And what I want you to do is every day practice all three. Go through each finger on every string, and always start picking once per beat for about 5 minutes, then move on to double picking, then for 5 minutes, then quadruple picking for 5 minutes. Then fourth, I want you to go through and link all three together and practice picking once per beat for 8 picks, double picking for 8, which would end up being 16 fit in there, or doing 4, which would be your 32. All right? Now, once we have accomplished being able to tremolo pick on one string, and we've developed some of these important characteristics I've been trying to get you to ingrain in your playing, which one thing very important is proper holding of your pick, proper picking motion, economy of motion, and economy of keeping your fingers as close to the fretboard as possible. Okay, and the double hand muting. All right, and now we move on to speed picking. Now speed picking, it's the same way, with the same, it's the exact same exercises as the tremolo, right? Except one thing. When you start picking, say for example, on the 5th fret, you practice sliding up or down to another note. Right? Go through all the fingers. I know it's laborious, but that's what you have to do if you want to be a good guitar player. All right? Then you move on to the 2nd finger. Okay, go through all fingers. Pinky. Right? Well, you know what's coming. Now you go through and practice moving each finger around, but you're double picking, right? then once you do that with all 4 fingers, we move on to 4 picks. Alright, and that will develop your speed picking. You'll be able to move while keeping your tremolo picking going or your speed picking going while you're moving your fretting hand. Then you'll be able to practice how you slide down into notes, while you're picking. Alright, so that will develop your speed picking. Alright, now I want to give a few extra things you can add in to practice while you're doing your tremolo picking. You can practice it by adding vibrato. It's okay to practice several techniques at once. You can work on your picking while working on vibrato. You can also practice all of this with palm muting, so you're used to speed picking while palm muting. Okay? So, you can practice tremolo and palm muting. Once you can do all of these exercises smoothly without those, you can then incorporate them in so you have a little bit of variation. When you're playing things, you can add a nice vibrato. You can practice different speeds. Vibrato can be slow, or it can be right? And this is very important. So it's that simple. If you practice in a progressive manner, you should develop basic tremolo and speed picking fairly quickly. You need to practice several hours a day, and it's best to break that up into 2 segments. It's good to practice once earlier in the day and once later in the day. And I hope that really helps. If there's any questions, please send me an email and I will do my best to answer it for you. Keep the horns up.